You have probably heard of the bro science. Confuse the muscle, no pain, no gain, chase the soreness, the pump is everything. Sound familiar? Well, here's the truth, that is just bro science. It is not actually gonna help you grow any more muscle than you already have. It might even deteriorate your gains, but all in all, there are better methods to grow more muscle. Today I'm breaking down exactly what builds muscle and what is this bro science. This is tested by me in my workouts and I've seen a lot of gains because of this. Let's get into it. Let's be real, bro science is not always wrong. Sometimes it accidentally aligns with the stuff that actually makes you gain muscle and it becomes the right thing to do. But here's where it goes a little off track. The first thing is that people think you need to confuse the muscle to make gains. Confusing the muscle by using various exercises in various routines, or maybe switching routines every 2 sessions, 1 session, anything related to that people think grows muscle, is just trying to say confuse the muscle. Well, you don't really confuse your muscle, instead you just reduce your capability to track your progress. The weight you can do on one exercise is not the weight that you can do on any other exercise, or maybe a lot of the exercises. Maybe you can do 2 kgs on one of the exercise, 2 kgs on the other exercise, but it's not really the same for every other exercise. So if you keep switching exercises, you don't really know how to track your progress, and hence you don't really have a very good indicator of growth. The second thing is that people think that if you're not sore after the workout, then you did not do enough. If you think that soreness is an indicator of muscle growth, think again. Because lactic acid usually builds up in a muscle and you feel sore because of that. It is not a good indicator of growth or progress. I can assure you that some of my best gains, strength-wise and muscle-wise, came from the weeks that I was not sore at all. The next thing is that people think that you need to get every set till failure. I know a lot of people, because of social media, think that you need to take every set till failure because a lot of influencers do the same thing. But it's not the entire truth. Training to failure has its place in your workouts, but it does not need to be every single time. I train to failure most of my training, but it could be different for you and it could be different for John or Bob, whoever is watching this video. The truth is that training to failure has its place in many of your workouts, but it's not usually every set till failure. It could be different for people, and it was different for me, and it could be different for you as well. One person could train to failure all their sets and not have any recovery problems, while you could train to failure about 2 or 3 times a week and still have recovery problems. It just depends on what kind of body you have and the recovery that your body goes through. The next piece of bro science is that pump is equal to progress. If you think that a bigger pump gives you more progress, it is true to some degree, but it's not entirely the truth. Yeah, the feeling you have when your muscles are bigger than they usually are after a workout or after a hard gym session, it really feels good. But it's not a reliable indicator of muscle growth and you should know about it. Yes, it can help with mind-muscle connection, but if you're not going to increase the sets or the reps over time, you're not really progressing, are you? Instead of chasing the pump, you should focus on progressive overload. This video is also something that I would like to share to my older self. If my older self knew this before, then I would have made a lot more gains. When I was doing all these mistakes, I saw a little bit of muscle and strength gain, but it was not really significant. After a while, I hit a plateau. I was not growing any more muscle and I was not even getting any more stronger. It felt like I was training hard, but I was not really training smart. Once I started implementing these ideas into my program, everything changed. Everything started to have a linear growth progress. Now here's the real science. Here are the things that actually work for hypertrophy, backed by science and also tested out by me, and it worked for me, so it should work for you as well. First thing is that mechanical tension is king. Having the maximum tension on the muscle you're working, especially when it's at the stretch position, is the best for muscle growth. You tear more muscle fibers, you grow them more, and hence you become bigger and stronger. All in all, if the muscle works under tension, it does its best work and also it grows quicker. The body grows when it's forced to adapt and grow. That's why the next thing that we're going to talk about is progressive overload. You need to increase your weights or your reps of your workouts each session. It doesn't actually have to be each session, that is just for saying it. If you see increase in your strength and muscle gains in 1, 2, 3 weeks, then you're doing good. Especially if you're an advanced lifter and you're still seeing a lot of muscle gains or maybe a lot of strength gains even after 2 or 3 years of lifting, that's really good. Whether it's more weight or more reps or shorter rest periods, you need to do something that challenges the body more so it can adapt and grow to it. All in all, the body grows when it's forced to adapt. The next thing is that you need to have sufficient volume and you need to recover good. Sometimes people train with a lot of volume, too little volume, but if you find your right spot, it's around 10 or 12 sets usually for a lot of people, you'll get the best results. Around 10 or 20 sets per week per muscle group will get you the best gains. If you train hard 6 or 7 times a week, don't sleep proper, don't have your nutrition right, then you're not really going to see a lot of muscle growth. Now, this last one is especially important. This one is that nutrition matters a lot. You could do a lot of workouts, you could train hard as much as you want, but if you're not really eating right, you're not going to see a lot of muscle gains. Even though you can build muscle without being in a small surplus, that is only if you are fat. If you're skinny or you're just not getting enough nutrients in, you don't get your protein or carbohydrates in, you're not going to grow. It's as simple as that. If you be in a small surplus of what you're actually supposed to eat, if you're around 200 to 300 calories above your maintenance level, then it's the best for muscle growth. Tracking your protein also helps in this process, but you need to do both of these to see the maximum muscle gains. Bro science seems hardcore and also kind of relatable, right? But it's not really the best for muscle growth. Doing your training based on the stuff that you learn from science is probably the best way to grow more muscle and more strength. If you follow the principles that I've told you, if you stay consistent with this, then you'll grow muscle in no time. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!